What is going on? How y'all guys doing? Welcome to another edition of You Can't Make This BS Up. It's your host Joel Davis. Man, oh man, so I got some triple features going on here. I'm gonna have a bunch of these stuff that I have got taken care of and had a chance to record these stories released to you guys, so that way y'all can get your money's worth. I know I have been like MIA. I kind of explained to y'all my situation. I'm currently, in between being homeless, legal trouble, the whole nine. But it's cool. I'm gonna go and prevail through this. But in the meantime, I know that I have a gift, I have a talent, and that talent is giving y'all stories about what some of these folks have done when it comes to true crime. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to stop doing that. That's just what I do. So, without further ado, today's story is going to be a little crazy. And it's coming out of Sin City. That's right. Y'all know what it is. Vegas. That's right. It's coming straight out of Vegas. And this happened around about 2019. And this story is a very good warning for a lot of people that you have to be careful with who you're dealing with, whether it's long term or short term. Now, the characters involved in this case is going to be as follows. You're going to have a gentleman named Dr. Thomas Burchard. You're also going to have a Playboy slash Instagram influencer model, Kelsey Turner, who is the actual suspect. And you're going to have another suspect named John Kennison. I want to say John Kennison. I want to make sure I'm right. Yep, John Kennison. And then you're going to have the victim's girlfriend, Judy Earp. And you also going to have the witness who also is involved, in my opinion, but we'll talk about that when we revisit the case at the end, Diana Nicole Pena. So without further ado, let's get straight into this, man. So it's a sunny morning on March the 7th, 2019. This out in the remote desert. It's east of Las Vegas. It's near Lake Mead. So this guy, he's driving along a dirt road, all state Route 147. Got his kids in the vehicle, doing dad things. All of a sudden, he see this 2017 Mercedes-Benz C300 coupe. Now, if you don't know what that means in the C class, it's basically a smaller size Mercedes-Benz, something similar to like the size of like a Corolla or one of those shorter, smaller cars, compact cars, like a Nissan Sentra. But it's sporty, you know what I'm saying? It's luxury. So he sees it just sitting there. It's abandoned. It's in the middle of nowhere. And it's surrounded by Creosto's bushes and sand. So this man is like, okay, this nice car being abandoned, something ain't right. Let me call the cops. Maybe somebody might have stole this car, trying to hide it. So, officers do their thing. They roll up. And when they roll up and got close to this car, they get hit with that smell. You know what that smell is? That smell of death. And they pop the trunk and they see this partially clothed, battered body of a 71-year-old white man that they already know done went to the upper room. Okay? He is seeing the man upstairs. hopefully. He's stuffed inside, he's covered with clothes and bedding, and they can tell that somebody done did a work on this man. Like they have tore his ass up. So this wasn't like no random dump. This was starting to seem like to them that this was something planned, something sinister. And this story is going to really be involved about how people just let their emotions go wild. It's pretty heartbreaking. And it's one of those cases that going to piss you off because the people that involved could have just done a whole lot better by making a whole lot smarter choices. Especially when it's a Playboy model, a sugar daddy with plenty of money in his portrayal and in a brutal murder. So, getting back to that abandoned Mercedes, it had a broken window. There was blood on the headrests and seats. There's blue Low-Tex gloves. There's a sign of a small fire on the passenger side, like somebody was trying to like burn it up. And they could tell that this was a rush job. Like, these is amateurs. Somebody trying to hurry up, trying to make it where you couldn't find out what happened or what going on. Now, the victim had blunt force trauma to the head, distinctive marks consistent with a baseball bat, a gun, and a fences wound on his body. His blood-covered vest and house keys were in the car along with a work ID belonging to one of the people who later be charged. So the car was registered under a name that led investigators to a sublease with a young woman. They identified that victim as Dr. Thomas Burchard. Now, he's a California psychiatrist, and his girlfriend had actually reported him missing days earlier. So let's talk about that and rewind to that. So the girlfriend is named Judy Earp, right? Judy and Thomas Burchard been together for some years. They relationship has been very close, very loving, but recently Judy has been kind of worried with what's been going on. Okay. Judy have not been able to Judy has not been able to and that's my cat in the background, get in touch with Dr. Thomas Burchard, because they had a schedule that he always get in touch with her no matter what he doing, what going on. She can always reach him. So she ain't heard from him in a couple of days. So she's getting worried. So she calls the local authorities like, hey, can y'all do a welfare check on my boyfriend? Because this is not like him. So they do a welfare check. They see that, okay, there ain't nobody at the spot. You know, what really going on here? And, you know, she kind of like don't know where he went. Because she's just like them. She has no clue. So anyway, getting back to that backstory, now it done became a multi-state homicide investigation for what these people found. So before we get into how all it unfolded, we got to talk about the players. All right, and here we go. You got Dr. Thomas Burchard. Now, he was a dedicated child psychiatrist based in Salinas, California. He spent decades working with behavior health program at Community Hospital of the Monterey Peninsula, helping kids and families through some of their toughest time. People who knew him called him kind-hearted to a fault. Someone who genuinely believed almost anyone could be redeemed and was quick to offer financial help to those with hard luck stories. He had a longtime girlfriend that was Judy Earp. Now, she lived relatively a quiet life off of Highway 68 in California. But Burchard had a pattern. Now, earlier divorce records show that he financially liked to support other women he met on land. He was a sugar daddy. Now, this is not uncommon for rich guys. Okay? Guys with a lot of money, like the doctor himself that's financially well off, they like to have a little arm candy on the side. You know, do the ones that do a little strange for some change. Now, by the time he was in his early 70s, his girlfriend and people close to him started to feel like he may be getting the beginning stage of Alzheimer's or dementia, which now they was afraid he was going to be vulnerable because he was 71 years old when his life ended violently that evening. Now, getting back to the partner of Judy, of Dr. Burchard, Judy Earp, she was with him for years. Like I said before, she started noticing his so-called generosity with this particular young woman. And it got to the point that this man was so infatuated with his new sugar baby that he was spending up to 300 grand combined with credit cards and your actual money coming out the bank. Now, this is alarming by many means for anyone to see that kind of money coming out, especially if this person is starting to suffer from dementia. So, anyway, his girlfriend was like, yo, listen, you gotta leave this help alone, okay? Like, this whole sugar baby thing is getting out of hand. And you need to cut it off. So, with that being said, Judy was telling the authorities about the amount of money involved and why she was pushing to take his disappearance seriously. Now, later on, when it gets to the trial part, she's going to give one hell of emotional victim impact statement in court, where she's going to talk about how devastating this loss was. Now, we're going to talk about the sugar baby, Kelsey Nicole Turner. Kelsey Nicole Turner was born on May the 5th, 1993 in Norfolk, Virginia. But she grew up in Jonesboro, Arkansas. And they said ever since anybody that knew Kelsey Nicole Turner, old girl was destined not to be in no small town like Jonesboro, Arkansas, and be somebody's wife or a trade wife out here making biscuits and home cooked meals. She was about the glamour life. She was gonna prove to everybody that she was gonna be the one and only, damn near like a Marilyn Monroe kind of thing. Okay, so she went to Arkansas State University. She got a career, and then she forged that career as a glamour and adult model because she posed for Playboy, including the Italian edition. That's like one of her highlights of her career. Then she was on Maximum. And if you don't know what Maximum is, it is a magazine where a lot of beautiful women are there. So, you know, men can see some eye candy and get some tips on trying to keep themselves in shape, if you know what I mean. And also 110. Then she really created this social media persona called Bad Barbie. Bad with the double D's, okay? And she really got a huge, pretty good following on there because she projected this lifestyle of being flashy, luxurious, and she had like tens of thousands of followers. I want to say almost over 100,000 plus. Uh, almost. She was a single mom, also to a young son, and she had a daughter. Now the daughter was with family, but her young son was always with her during the time she was acting the damn fool. But by her mid-20s, she was living in Salinas, California. Then after that, she went to Las Vegas. And she would often present herself as a struggling single mom. Always needed support. And, people fell for it. Because you got to remember, she's a beautiful blonde-headed girl, curvy body. Not too curvy, but, that medium curvy. Well put together. So when me and Sia, they were like, yeah, I don't mind being a stepdaddy to your child. But in reality, this woman was venomous. Now we're gonna talk about John Logan Kennison. Now this is the boyfriend of the suspect. Now John Logan Kennison was Turner's boyfriend in early 2019. Now, he was a former gang member who moved into Las Vegas house with her. He was about 29 at the time, and he would be the guy that would carry on the assault that would take out Dr. Burchard. Then next, she had Diana Nicole Pena. She was the third adult living in the house. She worked as a bartender, and she became a crucial eyewitness, facing serious charges. She was the one that turned herself in to the police after it got hot, and pleaded guilty to accessory after the fact. She gave a detailed testimony about the night of the killing, and she later said that she was terrified during the events and spoke out publicly for closure and to warn others, don't fall for anybody that's supposed to be your friend. So you talking about 3 different people living in a rented Las Vegas home that is being paid by a sugar daddy that's a doctor in California. So there was a fight on March the 2nd. But to get that fight going on, you got to find out how we got here, right? So what the authorities learned is that Judy Earp was really pushing for the doctor to leave this sugar baby alone. She's a liability. You need to quit supporting her. And that's exactly what the doctor did. He decided, you know what? I agree with you. I'm going to cut it off. So the doctor decides to drive on out to Las Vegas. Now, to fly out, not drive out to Las Vegas. He gets to Las Vegas, gets picked up. He goes where this girl at. And meanwhile, the doctor don't know that this girl has already been seeing the writing on the wall that he was going to cut her off. And it was really pissing her off. And it was also pissing off this boyfriend, too, because, hey, he paying for everybody out here, man. We need this cat. We need this cash cow. So he goes out, gets greeted. Time when he starts to tell this girl that everything's going to get cut off, all hell broke loose. Everybody's mad. So March the 2nd, there was a fight. Okay. Now Pina witnessed this. She said that there was a bat. Now let's talk about the story about the bat. I meant to give you the backstory on that. So when the police found the bat, it had a DiMaggio, I forgot the guy's first name, on the bat. So the guy's name that was on the bat engraved, they thought that he was the one involved. So when they called up to this guy, he was like, yeah, I know Kelsey. We're exes now, but no, I ain't had nothing to do with this. And the investigator was like, all right, well, Playboy, why is the bat? Why is this bat that is supposed to be, that is yours at this crime scene then if you ain't involved with her no more? His words were, all right, man, let me tell you what happened. Okay, Kelsey was living a lifestyle where it was too hoish for me. I wasn't cool with it. I wasn't feeling it. I couldn't turn this hoish type of person into a housewife. So I decided to just go. I left everything in a spot. I ain't looked back. I left and I started doing work on a fishing boat, man. That's where I was at. So the police like, well, we gonna need your phone and all your digital coordinates. Okay, no problem. You can have it. Come to find out that where he was at. He wasn't there. He was out of the town on the water doing what he's supposed to be doing to survive at the time. So that was canceled. So we don't got that anymore. So now they going back to it had to be her. So getting back to this bat. The new boyfriend now, Tennyson. Kennison, not Tennyson, sorry. Kennison, he angry. All right, he mad. He is mad and he's pissed off. And that's when his girl instruct him, Kelsey, get the bat and whoop his ass. So, you know, he going at it. He going ham on this old man. So they done beat this old man to the point where this old man left eye is like full of blood. Okay. And the only reason why they stopped is because Miss Pena here, she was like, yo, y'all got to chill. This is too much. This is the old man. What are we doing? So finally, he's in pain. This man is bleeding. He done been battered. He like, yo, take me to the hospital. I tell him I got mugged. Like, nobody ain't got to know y'all did this. I need to be taken to the hospital. So, meanwhile, while they tell Pena, the girl that seen all this, listen, we're going to take her to the hospital, all right? We need you to help load him in the car. She's like, all right, no worries, no problem, I can do that. So she helping him load in the car, and this guy is just, the doctor is just said, no, I'm telling you now, this ain't good. They are not taking me where they say they're going to take me. She like, no, they said they take you to the hospital. He said, no, they ain't. He said, I done overheard they're going to kill me. This is it. I'm going to be done for. So she like, don't worry, I'll be with you. So when Pena is about to get in the car and leave with them, that's when Kelsey tells her, nah, you're not going on this ride, baby. I need you to help handle some things in the hotel room we staying at. I need you to clean that bitch up. You know, do what you got to do, make it look spiffy, get all that blood and stuff out of there. You know, you need to do that. We'll make sure he gets to the hospital. That's when she started to know, oh shit, this might not go as planned. So, meanwhile, after all this went down, and they did what they did, they come back in a panic. They tell Pena what they did. Pena's like freaking out. Everybody just roll up, leave with their stuff that they had at the hotel, and bounce. And all of them went on the run, except for Pena. Pena was like, yo, this is too deep for me. I was at the scene. I saw what happened. I got to tell the truth. So she went and turned herself in. So soon, all of a sudden, after she turns herself in, they catch up with the others. Oh yeah, they catch up with Kennison, and they catch up with Miss Turner. Oh, Miss Kelsey Turner. Now y'all know when it comes to these people when they do what they do, they try to come up with some of the craziest excuses why they did what they did, or they try to make it like, oh, I didn't do anything. You know, it was all them. It was all her. You know how they do. But no, it didn't happen that way. So when it got time to trial in 2022, because y'all know trial was delayed at that time because right after he died in 2019, 2020 we had COVID. So after COVID and stuff, Kennison uh, decided that, listen, I done seen the writing on the wall. I see the evidence they got on me. I'm going to plead guilty to second-degree murder and conspiracy. He wound up receiving 18 to 45 years. Tina charges were reduced to where she got probation because of her cooperation. Now, Turner, on the other hand, Kelsey decided in November of 2022 that it would be best for her to do an Alfred plea to second-degree murder. Now, let me tell y'all what the Alfred plea does. So what the Alfred plea does is basically saying, listen, I ain't going to admit that I did this shit, but you got enough evidence to where if I go to trial against to fight for my innocence, I'll go get convicted anyway. Now, I don't like this plea. I never liked this plea because to me, that always felt like the underlining to me that you really are admitting that you did something, but it's just a slick way of saying you didn't admit to it in legal terms, which to me I think is bullshit. I feel like the Alfred plea should have never been invented. I feel like that it should have been you either innocent or you guilty. And I feel like 9 times out of 10, if you say you guilty, then they got that kind of evidence on you, then 9 times out of 10, you did it. It's very rare cases. They got all these evidence on you and it's straight circumstantial BS. Very rare. So anyway, January 10, 2023, they sentenced the Bad Bobby to 10 to 25 years. Now, get back to Judy Earp's impact statement. She talked about she always had this dream of Dr. Burchard returning, only to face the nightmare he ain't never gonna return. That this is his life, that the life that she knows of is gonna be without her soulmate, because she really loved this man. Now, Turner now is incarcerated at the Florence McClure Women's Correctional Center. And this case here was crazy. That's why I want to do this, because on the internet, I see a lot of older gentlemen, especially these so-called passport bros, go out here and get these younger women that's beautiful and gorgeous. And ain't nothing wrong with having a younger woman. And if you got an open relationship and that's y'all thing, ain't nothing wrong with that. But people got to understand something, is that a lot of these women, these younger women, these women that are in the spotlight, modeling influencers and stuff like that, they thrive on support from well-off individuals. And when you got people that thrive off of their looks and beauty to get ahead financially through the hard work or earned money from able bodies, not because they're using their face or whatever to be for a company product or using it for they own brand to where they're just modeling or providing just a service in general, like a OnlyFans, and that's it. We're talking about people that absolutely that's their whole goal in life when they do these Instagram thirst traps and stuff is to get a actual sugar daddy, someone with money to provide a lifestyle. That's dangerous. Those people are dangerous to me. They are very, to me, narcissistic. You got to be narcissistic to be that way. Because think about it. You got to be so invested in yourself that you feel like that you are the it factor. And anyone else that tries to challenge it is a disrespect to you and a disrespect to what you're trying to do. Now, let's talk about my opinion on uh, Mrs. Dana Pena. Now, Diana Pena. Diana Pena kind of pissed me off because when I got this story and I heard it originally from Snapped, she tried to say that Kelsey Turner made this mistake to participate in the unaliving of Dr. Burchard because she was manipulated by John Kennison. What? She was not manipulated by John Kennison. This woman was a master manipulator. She manipulated an old man with her looks, and she manipulated this gangbanger who was 29 years old that just wanted to show this girl that he'll do anything to be her ride or die. So she was the manipulator, not anyone else. This was Kelsey's show. This was Kelsey's show. She was determined to get what she wanted at all means necessary. And if she couldn't get what she wanted and felt disrespected by the doctor saying no, she wanted to teach him a lesson. Like, no one cuts me off. I cut them off. So no, I do not feel in any way that John Kennison was doing any manipulation. I feel like John Kennison was a victim like everybody else of Kelsey's world. He entered in and he finally found someone that really knew how to do a number on him. Because let me tell you something. I'm not saying that John Kennison was a manipulator in his life. He probably was a manipulator at one time. But there's a good chance that there's always someone that can manipulate better than you. And that's what happened. I think John met his match. And when it all came down, he wound up being the one that got the worst end of the deal. Because look at the time he got. He played guilty, and he still got a gang of years. She only got 10 to 25 years, right? And here comes him. He's got 18 to 45 years. He's got to serve. And that means before he can get any kind of eligibility or parole, he got to get to the 18-year mark. And he's not guaranteed then. She, on the other hand, she gets to the 10-year mark, she's eligible for parole. So no, I'm sorry. But this woman was a bad. She said bad Barbie. She was one bad Barbie. She was a nightmare. She was manipulating left and right. So I understand that maybe Dina and her got still a good friendship, but I don't want to be that whole friend. Sorry. When you up here killing people about their own money because you don't want to get off your ass and do it the right way because you a single mama who messed around and made stupid ass choices, I'm out. But anyway, y'all, please support the channel. Please donate if you like what I got going on. You can always cash at me. You can't make this BS up. I'm always looking for donations. It helps the channel grow. Whether it's $5 or you decide that you want to throw 1,000, we with it. All right, it just helps the show grow, and it also will help me with my homeless situation. So please like, share, subscribe, support. We love you guys. Until then, please do not be like the good old Dr. Burchard and let some honeypot destroy your life. Again, I'm out.